Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles and back to the Sudokétudes set 5. Today we're going to look at a disjoint Sudoku puzzle called Sammy. Why is it called Sammy? I don't remember, actually. Yeah, so often I name my puzzles by when I create a puzzle and I've got the puzzle list sitting in front of me, I will just look around or I'll think about something that's happened on the day, and it could have been named after a character in a TV show I was watching or just something. It could have been anything, but this puzzle's called Sammy. What is disjoint? Well, we'll find out about that when I go through the rules. Of course, there'll be a link below to to this puzzle as well as to the entire Sudokétudes archive. Let's have a look. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. However, in disjoint, cells in the same relative position in each 3x3 box may not contain the same digit. So for example, if I was to pick these cells, those are in the second position in each box if we count, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But these are the same relative position because you can see within the box, those cells are in the same position in each box. They may not contain any repeated digits. They may not contain the same digits. And the same is true for all of those positions. So that's the rules. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. Now, one of the tricks I have when solving disjoint, particularly if disjoint is the only thing in the grid, is I find if I highlight the center cells, that gives me a quick scanning reference for the for which cell is which, because I can say, okay, what's to the top left of the yellow digit, or what's on the yellow digit, or what's directly underneath the yellow digit. Because it gives me sort of a visual cue for scanning and makes it a little easier, because one of the big problems with disjoint is the scanning gets hard because you're not just scanning your rows, your columns and your boxes, but you're scanning like these cells and you have to see if there's any repeats in these cells. And that's a little tricky. So I find this helps. It doesn't always help, and you'll see as I'm solving that I will still miss stuff, but it does help. And in this puzzle, I kind of wanted to drive this home by, if you highlight those digits, you can immediately see that I've got most of 6 of these filled already. So the digits that have to go into the yellow digits are the ones that aren't placed in yellow. So I've already placed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. So 1, 7, and 9. So these have to be 1, 7, and 9. But the 1 can't go in either of those. So this is the 1. I'm not sure if I can resolve the 7, 9 yet. But I wanted to drive home those central digits as a point, because this is how I often scan disjoint. But we can do some more Sudoku. So we can see 4 has to go in one of those two. We can see 5 is in one of those two, but this 5 says there's no 5 there. There's a 5 here. So I'm just doing normal Sudoku at the moment. 3 and 3 means 3 is in one of those two. What else can I see? 7 and 7. So this 7 says 7's not there, and this 7 says 7's not there. So that is a 7. And now 7 is in one of those two. Okay. 8 has to be in one of those two. Now, you could see that, and this is where the yellow digit is helping me a bit. By Sudoku, 8 would be in one of those 3, but here would repeat in the yellow digit. Okay. 9 is in one of those two. Well, 5 and 5, of course, puts 5 in one of those two. 3 and 3 puts 3 in one of those 3. Okay, what is this quadruple? Because this is 1, 2, 4, and 7. Now, we know there's no 7 in those. There's no 1 there. Is there anything else that is being disjoint scanned in those? Well, there's no 1 there, and there's no 2 in either of those. It's not helping as much as I thought it would. Well, actually, yeah, 4 is not there. So this is only 1 or 7. Finding disjoint pairs can be important. Now, this is listed as a slightly harder puzzle. I don't remember how hard this was. As I said, this has been a while since I said it, but I do remember that I set a few disjoint puzzles in a row, most of which were terrible, so I never released them, using this central cell concept. So this column maybe 2, 4, 8, and 9. So this is only an 8 or a 9 because it sees 1, it sees, oh, sorry, this cell, it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this is only an 8 or a 9. So what are they? 2, 4, 8, 9. But I'm not seeing restrictions on those yet. Pick a cell that is under a lot of pressure, and I'm not sure which one that is. 3 in there, I'm not seeing it. So this is a quadruple. 1, 2, 4, and 8. So I've got to put 8 in here somewhere, and it's not there. So 8 is in one of those two. So this is only 1, 2, or 4. Not seeing any disjoint on that. This row, of course. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 3 and 8. Okay, that's probably the trick I should have. As soon as I found this 7, 9, I should have pencil marked this 3, 8 because the 3 makes that the 8 and that the 3. Should have done some more basic Sudoku. Okay, is that seeing anything obvious by disjoint yet? 8 is in one of those two now. And 8 is in one of those two because this 8 is seeing those and those can't be 8. So 8 is in one of those two. So that's not the 8, that's the 8. And there must be a 9 in one of these. These are 2, 4, 9 and 9 must be in one of those two. Okay, that's some progress. Can I do more with 8s? 8's not in those. 8 is not there because of that 8. 8 is not there. Yes, 8 is in one of those two because that 8 and that 8 are removing 8 from those two cells and that 8 is removing 8 from those. So 8 is in one of those two. So that's not the 8, that's the 8. Okay. So 2 isn't in any of those. So 2 is in one of those two. If that's a 2, that's a 4. If that's a 2, 2 is down there, which would make that a 2. I knew that's a 2 or a 4. I was hoping it would do more. It doesn't, or at least not that I'm seeing. Not yet anyway. And a lot of people don't like disjoint puzzles because of the scanning, and I admit I'm often one of them, which is why I tried to set some in order to improve my knowledge and understanding of disjoint puzzles. So 9 is here and 9 has to be in one of here. So 9 is in one of these three. Is there any disjoint happening on the 9? Not that I can see, but I am going to pencil mark that. So in variance, I will sometimes pencil mark when you've got 3 digits if they're in a line or something, just so I can keep that clear in my head. I may even pencil mark like 999, but if I was to do that, I'd see these and I'd potentially get confused. Like I would remove one of them and automatically pencil mark the other. I try and avoid it, but okay. 4, no. So 1 isn't in any of those. It doesn't look like 1's, does it? What digit is weak? Eight is, it's not 8. I'm pretty certain it's not 8 because I've got 8 down to those two positions, and those two positions. And they all overlap. If it's there, it's there and there. If it's there, it's there and there. And that all just works. Those are in the same relative positions in their boxes. So all of the 8s don't see each other. And it's kind of cool coming to these puzzles from a fresh perspective. And I've completely forgotten all of my disjoint tricks, which is also kind of funny. So this digit can't be 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 6, or 9 is all it can be, because it can't be 7 or 8 either. So I'm looking for very restricted cells. So this is 1, 4, or 8, and it can't be, it can't be 4. This is only 1 or 8, because it can't be 4, because those are the same relative position. And it's 1, 2, 4, 8, and it couldn't be 2. So this is 1 or 8. This is 1 or 8 because it sees 2 and 4. So this is 1, 8. That's a 1, 8 pair, and I can take 1 out of both of those, making that a 2, 4 pair, which makes that 7 and that 1. That's cool. That puts 1 up here, but this one is saying it's not there. That's the 1. 1 is now in one of those two. Can I take that further? Not sure. 7 means 7 isn't in any of those, because that 7 sees those and that 7 sees those. So 7 is in one of those two. And that 7 sees that one. So that's not the 7, that's the 7, which puts 7 in one of those two. 7's not in any of those. 7 is in one of those 3. But it's not in the bottom cell, so it's in one of those two. I feel I've got enough 7s that I should be able to do something. There's those cells, those cells. Where can I put 7 in the top center? I can't put it in any of those. I can't put it in any of those. So it's in one of those 3. That has to be the 7. Where do I put 7 in that set? It has to go in one of them. That can't be 7. That can't be 7. That can't be 7 because it's an 8. That can't be 7 because it sees a 7 and the 7 in the rows. That's the 7, making that the 9 and that the 7. And now I've done yellow, which is cool. And that makes this a 5-9 pair, because 5-9, 5-9, and that's a 4. That's a 5-9 pair, meaning this isn't a 9, this is a 1 or a 6. The 5-9 pair, I'm not seeing a resolve on it yet, but these are now 1, 2, 3, and 6. So 3 is in one of those two, and that 3 sees that one. That's a 3. That's a 1, and this, because I removed a pencil mark 1, and this becomes a 2-6 pair. And I'm not seeing that. But this is 2, 4, or 6. This is 4 or 6 because I'm missing 2, 4, 6 in the column, and that one can't be a 2. So that's a 4 or a 6. I'm not seeing the disjoint on that yet either. Okay, still some more work to do. 3 in this box is in one of those 3. Can I remove any of those? Not that I can see. 5 in this box. Oh no, 3 and 3. That's just the 3. Do your Sudoku, BremSter. So these are 5, 6, and 9. There's no 5 there, so 5 is in one of those two, and that 5 sees that one. So that's the 5. And this is so much easier to scan with the yellow digits. I was just able to look above yellow and see that. So this is 6, 9, but this column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are 3, 6, and 9. That one can't be a 9. And that one, not sure. But it's tempting, and you can do this if you get a little bit lost is temporarily highlight a different color. Because I've got 1, 5, 8, and 7. So I can't have another 1, 5, 8, 7 in these. So those digits are 2, 3, 4, 6, and 9. And you can try and look for pairs or anything, and I'm not seeing them. So I don't think that actually helped me. Maybe it did, but I didn't see it. Okay. So is it this triple? Because I'm missing 1, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are 1, 3, and 8. 1, 3, 8. 3 must be in those because of this 1, 3, 8 triple. There's no 8 there. And those positions. Yeah, the 8 also saw that one, but that one did as well. This position? Not sure, but that's 2 of 1, 3, 8 in that position. I need to put another one in this row. One of those needs to be 1, 3, 8, because 1, 3, 8 here. Well, let's look at this triple. This is 6, 7, and 9, and there's no 9 there. That, interesting. Two is in one of those two by Sudoku, and that's been there since the very beginning, and I wonder if I could have used that to some effect. You know, I'm not sure. Ah, that 3 is seeing that one, so that can't be the 3, that's the 3, and this becomes a 6, 9. And that's those digits. So now we know 9 is in one of those two. So I can't put 9 in any of these cells, but I think I've got that anyway. Not really, but it's worth remembering maybe. So this row, 2, 5, 6, and 9. So these are from 2, 5, 6, 9. So this is 2, 5, 6. It can't be 5. So this is only 2 or 6, giving me a 2, 6 pair in the row. So this is 5 or 9. And that's a 5, 9 pair. So let's look at these cells. Because if I look at those cells, I've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 9. So these have to be 4 and 6 to complete that set. Basically, that 5, 9 pair in green means that can't be the 9. So that's the 9. Can I resolve this for 6? I don't know. But I've now got these having to be 1, 8 because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So this is a 1 or an 8. And that's 1, 8 in that set. Yeah, that matches up with the 2, 6 pair there. That's cool. But they're now going to, those are now going to resolve each other by Sudoku because the 2, 6 and the 4, 6 and the 1, 8 and the 5, 9 all sort of see each other by row and everything. So 1, 2, 3, this is a 4 or a 6 and the 4 is looking down. That's going to do it all. That's the 6, that's the 4, that's the 6, meaning that's not the 6. 6 is over here. So this is 1, 2, 4, 8. So this is 1, 2, 4. I don't think I've got that locked in yet. I'm actually kind of happy with this one. This one's going well. Like not the solve necessarily, but the way the puzzle is showing disjoint seems to be quite nice. 7 is in one of those two, but those are overlapping, so that's not helping me anything. Those are the same cells in the same relative positions in 2 different boxes. So there'll be another disjoint trick somewhere I've probably missed. Am I going back to these cells? Because it's those. Those are 2, 4, 6, and 9. Maybe not. Maybe these upper ones. Because those are 2, 4, 6, and 9. So those cells there. Well, yeah, that is a bit interesting because if we look at those cells, those have to be 2, 4, 6, and 9, but I can't put 4 in either of those. So 4 is in one of those two. So that can't be a 4. That's a 2 or a 9. 4 is in one of those two. Okay. That 6 sees that cell. So that's a 7, that's a 9. The 7 means that's not the 7, that's the 7. The 9 makes that the 5, which makes that the 9. These are 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 2, 4, 6. So there's no 9 there. These are 2, 4, 6. There's no 6 here. And that is a 2, 4, 6 triple. So the first question I could... So yeah, the 2, 4, 6 triple means that's the 9, which means this isn't the 9. This is a 2, 4, which means that's the 9. But the 2, 4, 6, of course, or the 9 makes that the 5. But this is a 2, 4 in green. So this has to be the 6, meaning this isn't the 6, this is the 6, and this is a 2, 4 pair. Excellent. And now green is kind of done. But that 6 means that's the 4, which means that's the 2, meaning that's not the 2. 2 in this box now, those two 2s, means this is the 2 and this is the 4, meaning that's the 4. The 6 makes that the 2. This is 1, 4, or 8. And try doing some disjoint scanning. Not really finding anything, but I'll get there. This is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are 3 and 5. And that 3 sees that 1. So that's the 5, that's the 3, which means that's the 1, which means that's the 8, that's the 3, that's the 8, that's the 1, looking over, making that the 8 and taking 8 out of there. This is a 1, 4 pair. This 9, of course, makes this the 6. I could have used that 9 for the same thing. These are 2 and 9, and the 9 makes that the 2 and that the 9. Of course, that's the 6. This row is missing its 1. This seems to have fallen apart now. The box is missing 2 and 5, and the 5 is looking down, making that the 2, that the 5. The 2 is looking up, making that the 4, and that the 2. The 4 is looking down, making that the 1, and that the 4. And this box doesn't have its 6. And that is how you solve Sammy by BremSter. Hi, I'm BremSter. Yeah, I really liked this as a demonstration of not too complex disjoint processes while focusing on being able to use those central digits as a scanning aid. I really wanted people to try and find that on their own because those digits were quite full. And if you highlight them, maybe people would say, hang on, this is easier to see what's going on. That's what I was hoping anyway. So there'll be a lot of comments I expect from, I don't like disjoint because I find them hard to scan or anything. I tried to make it that this puzzle would actually teach people a trick without me having to show them if they tried to solve the puzzle on their own. We'll see how that goes. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the puzzle. And as always, good luck with your solving.